Bienvenidos de vuelta al programa. A propósito del caso Epstein, CNN entrevistó a una mujer, Stacey Williams, que hace poco más de 30 años, allá por el año 92, 93, salía con Jeffrey Epstein. Ella era una modelo, había salido en la portada de la revista Sports Illustrated, y Epstein salía con Stacey Williams y eventualmente se la presentó a Trump. Veamos.
While you were dating Epstein, can you tell us how close these two men were?
They were best friends. I dated Jeffrey for a period of more or less, I think about 4 or 5 months. And the only friend that he would mention every time we saw each other or had a phone conversation was Donald, and he would share a lot of anecdotes. I have plenty of anecdotes. And yeah, they were very close, and they were up to no good.
La señora Williams, exmodelo, exnovia de Epstein, dice que Trump era como un hermano del alma para Epstein.
And how did Epstein talk about Trump? Sort of what was the quality of those anecdotes and how he described him?
There was a time when he mentioned that he had to check in on him because he was unwell and very upset about something that had happened. I remember because he was late to pick me up and he was explaining why he was late. They were just, it was such a long time ago, but it was just that was his bro, that was his wingman. It was clearly, I'd hear about Ghislaine and I'd hear about Jeffrey.
Afirma ella, Stacey Williams, que el año 1992 conoció a Epstein en una fiesta en el Hotel Plaza de Nueva York que ofreció el magnate Trump.
I met Jeffrey the second time and we started dating based on the reintroduction that happened at the Plaza Hotel at a Christmas party in 1992 that Donald Trump threw. They were very, very close.
Dice ella también, y esta es la acusación más grave, que un año después, 1993, Trump, en presencia de Epstein, la asaltó sexualmente, tocándola, manoseándola de un modo grosero e indebido, y ella afirma que esa denuncia la ha hecho con detectores de mentiras, con pruebas de polígrafos, y que eso confirma que está diciendo la verdad.
Can you tell me more about what happened that day and particularly how Trump and Epstein interacted?
Yeah, before I get into the details of what happened, which, obviously I told you guys and I've shared with multiple outlets the specifics of the assault that happened, I want to point out that I was polygraphed before I did all this by one of the most renowned examiners in the world. Michael Wolff has hundreds of hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein where Jeffrey confirmed to Michael what the two of them did to me long before I came out and told you all of this.
Ella, Stacey Williams, afirma que el año 93 Epstein la llevó a las oficinas de Trump en la Quinta Avenida, en Nueva York, y Trump la manoseó en presencia de Epstein y mientras hablaba con él.
So those are two critical data points that you need to have, and now I'll walk you through what happened. I was dating Jeffrey. He was always talking about Donald. It was his bestie and everything, and he was joking about how Donald thought I was hot, and Donald thinks I'm this or whatever, wants to talk to you. And he was telling me this as we were taking a walk down Fifth Avenue one day, and he said, let's stop in and see him at his offices. So we went up to his office in Trump Tower, and within a couple of minutes, Donald was outside of his door, and his hands were all over me. They were on my breasts, they were on my butt, they were on, my hips, up and down, while the two of them just kept having a normal conversation.
Es decir que, según ella, Trump, hace más de 30 años, la asaltó sexualmente de una manera vulgar, al mismo tiempo que hablaba con Epstein. Qué curioso.
They were back and forth, smiling and grinning and carrying on a conversation while Donald ran his hands all over me. And, you know, when that happens in broad daylight in someone's office and an assistant's walking back and forth, you're in shock. If it happens in a dark alleyway, right, you defend yourself. But when it's hidden in its brazenness like that, which is Donald Trump's forte, you know, you go into shock. So I froze, and it was over and very quickly. It was a few minutes, and then we got back in the elevator, and Jeffrey's energy had changed. He was like seething. He was enraged. He wouldn't make eye contact with me.
Ella afirma que la carta manuscrita de Trump a Epstein, cuando este último cumplió 50 años, una carta fechada en 2003, que acaba de ser publicada por el Wall Street Journal, sí es verdadera.
Tonight, if you're aware, President Trump has filed this libel lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal over its reporting that there was this note bearing Trump's name as a signature and an outline of a naked woman that was included in a 50th birthday album for Epstein in 2003, a note that also depicted an imaginary conversation between the two men. And part of it reads, quote, Donald saying, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do. Come to think of it, Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me that the last time I saw you." And then finally, Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Trump called that letter fake. He said it was out of character for him because he never wrote a picture or drew a picture in his life. Wrote a picture, I think he said.
No,
it's not his kind of language.
Ella cree que la carta sí existió. De hecho, la carta la tenía en sus archivos Ghislaine Maxwell, que era como la pareja oficial de Epstein y la chica que le reclutaba a las menores de edad. Y ella, Stacey Williams, afirma categóricamente que ella está segura de que el maravilloso secreto que compartían Epstein y Trump era uno relativo a las chicas menores de edad.
Based on your time with both men, does that sound out of character to you?
What, are you kidding me? I know what they were up to together. It happened to me. I was polygraphed. I have the post-assault postcard with a love note. So I have the receipts. Where are Donald Trump's receipts? Where are they? I know what they're up together, and I know what that means. It's very clear. It wasn't baking or fishing.
Una pausa y ya regresamos.